It's official, y'all. It's really official. At just 22 years old. Yes, you're listening to me right. You heard that correct. Let me grab the mic to say it even more clear. 22 years old, guys. Victor Wembanyama is the number one option on a championship team at 22. And yeah, first half, by the way, at 22. He's not even 22 and a half yet. Insane, guys. Actually insane. We were talking about this Thunder team being a dynasty not even 2 months ago. I didn't believe there was a team that could take down the Thunder if it won 7 games. Now, could I have predicted J-Dub and AJ Mitchell being injured? That definitely played a part. Definitely played a part. So I don't want to say the Thunder are by far the worst team in basketball. Or by far a worse team than the Spurs in basketball. But man, oh man. The Spurs did it in that Game 7. It all started in the first 5 minutes, too. You will remember watching Game 5, right? Game 5 in OKC. It was 2-2 series heading back to Oklahoma. And the Spurs started off that first 5 minutes great. And then after that, the Thunder crawled their way back. Wemby stopped being aggressive offensively. Guys like Castle stopped trying to get to the basket, and they became very, very settled in their ways. Thunder ran away with that win in Game 5. Then in Game 6, Greg Popovich must have given another great speech because the Spurs came out in Game 6 and just dominated from the get-go. They were home. They cooked. 27-point win. 13 points up in the first quarter. You can see that third quarter, 19-point win in the third quarter. Shea could not have a good game. Their bench players struggled. I mean, it was just an all-around bad game for the Thunder. We knew a couple of blowouts would happen eventually, right? It always does. But let's just talk Game 7, man. Because, I mean, that was one of the most fun games of basketball I've watched, really in recent memory. I can't lie. I don't remember watching a game that I've anticipated and also lived up to the anticipation more than this Game 7 did. Let's start with Wemby. Because when Wemby hit that, there was a three-pointer that there was a foul called in the first quarter of this game. And Wemby shot like a 35-footer after the whistle. It didn't count, but the shot went in. And I remember thinking to myself, dang, Wemby just now felt that shot go in. And the fact that he felt that shot go in the first quarter meant he was taking a couple more. And then he actually shot one during the game, made it. Then he shot another 3, made it. Then he hit that step back on iHeart. Oh my God, man. I mean, what do you do? What do you do when a 7'4" guy is hitting a step back 3 over you when you're supposed to be 7'1"? What a game. What a game overall. From De'Aaron Fox struggling to finally hitting a couple catch-and-shoot shots later in the game, to Julian Champagnie being the second leading scorer on a championship team, guys. Yes, I can't believe I'm saying that. A guy that was cut from the Philadelphia 76ers, Julian Champagnie. 6 of 10 from 3, hitting some absolutely clutch three-pointers. Keldon Johnson off the bench, putting his head down, being that 6th man of the year dog. How about the Dylan Harper? Not only let's talk about the fact that he led the team in rebounding in a Game 7. Yes, led the team with Victor Wembanyama. Yes, led the team in rebounding. But let's talk about that step back 3 that Dylan Harper had. Off the dribble on Shea. I mean, I got Andrew Nembhard flashbacks. If you guys remember that game 1, Indiana Pacers, OKC Finals last year. Andrew Nembhard down by 6. Step back, 3, make. I mean, Dylan Harper did the exact same thing to Shea, and he nailed it. Second time now I've seen Shea just get picked on late in games like that. And targeted, too, by the way. Not just picked on, targeted. As for the Thunder, say what you want about SGA. Yes, he had plenty of flops in this series. He had plenty of moments where he knew the shot was missing and he went down and he got the foul call. But man, nobody played even remotely to the tier that Shea played in this series for the Thunder. Finishing off the series with 35 points, 9 assists, 3 30-point games in this series. It was really impressive what Shea did. I thought he passed great. I thought the way that the defense was guarding him. What up, Shaken? How you doing? Pizza Cards, welcome in. True Collectibles, welcome in. How we doing, everyone? I'm doing my finals preview right now. I thought that the way the Spurs guarded Shea, they forced the ball out of his hands so much and then would force the rest of the team to play, advantage basketball is what they call it, 4-on-3s, 3-on-2s. You know the difference, though? The Spurs would literally force the double out of Shea's hands on either the left top wing or the right wing or at the top of the screen before he even crossed half court. The Spurs were so fast and so good at recovering their defensive lapses that what you would want Shea, the attention you would want Shea to bring was there, and then the advantage basketball that the Thunder would think of going into was not there. Now, the one thing I will say was there were so many times that Reggie Miller in this game kept being like, oh, the Thunder aren't running fast enough, right? Even after made baskets, the Spurs are immediately running down the court. And I did agree with that. I thought that there were definitely a lot of moments where the Thunder should have been running a lot faster down the court. But the Thunder's best basketball this entire series was when Shea had the ball in his hands in one-on-one coverage. I mean, it just was. It was the best moments. Shea, the second he looked at Castle, or he looked at Fox, or he looked at Harper, or he looked at Carter Bryant, and he knew or Devin Vassell, and he had a one-on-one man. It's awesome to watch the Thunder offense play, because that's when they were able to get into their bag, pump fake threes, drive and kicks over and over again. The discourse around Shea has been so negative on social media. I mean, so negative. And as much as this was a failure that he called it after Game 7 of a season for Shea, I do think that this marked the best 2-year stretch that I've seen a guard have in NBA since I've been watching the NBA since 2016, 2017, or really 2015, 2016, Steph Curry. It's been about 10 years since we've seen a guard up to the standard that Shea has and up to the efficiency and offensive impact that Shea had. But with that being said, if I have to watch Luguentz Dort take one more off the dribble 3, or I have to watch Chet Holmgren get the ball in his hands on the perimeter, I am going to lose my mind. Because, oh my God, what could have gone right for the Spurs with J-Dub and AJ Mitchell both being out, by far, when I say by far, their second and third best ball handlers and guys that feel comfortable handling pick and rolls and advantage basketball situations. I mean, the fact that the Thunder lost by 8 without those two guys, pause, Shaken, is crazy. Because I swear to you, this Jalen Williams was their second best ball handler yesterday, or on Saturday in that Game 7. To the point where they had to start him in the second half over Isaiah Hartenstein because he was able to dribble on the perimeter. Alex Caruso was doing nothing with the ball in his hands in that Game 7. And Alex Caruso had an amazing series, and he's one of those role players that's incredible. But they brought Kenrich Williams in for 4 minutes, nothing. I was impressed with Cason Wallace, but he does not have the bag or really the ability to drive at all on the San Antonio Spurs to create a threat with him with the ball in his hands. Jared McCain. I mean, you can't say enough good things about Jared McCain after games 5, 6, and 7 in this playoffs, because after being traded and given up on by Daryl Morey for the 22nd overall pick in 3 seconds, Jared McCain has a future with the Oklahoma City Thunder, being one of those guys. I was shocked to not see them bring Isaiah Joe in or Aaron Wiggins in, because they needed shot creation and offense in this game. And you know where they should have gotten it from? And you know why this shouldn't even have to have been a conversation at all, whatsoever? Chet Holmgren. This was a matchup that you were supposed to take personally, because your rival did. And boy, did he on the defensive side of the ball. You never took more. You had one game, Chet Holmgren, this entire series that you took more than 10 shots. Sorry, 10 shots exactly. You didn't hit a 3, Chet Holmgren, in games 4, in game 5, in game 6. You didn't even attempt a 3 in game 7. Not only did you not attempt a 3 in game 7, you had 2 field goal attempts in 33 minutes. That is the lowest amount of field goal attempts anyone in a game 7 that has played 30 plus minutes has ever had. You had 0 assists, Chet Holmgren. You couldn't even make plays for your teammates. You had 4 rebounds. You know, I'm not even, early in the series, at least Wemby was getting, 21 rebounds in game 1, 17 rebounds in game 2. 4 rebounds? 2 for 4 from the free throw line. You had a time you went to the free throw line, you missed both of them. You had as many personal fouls and as many turnovers as you had points, Mr. Chet, after you were just voted as a top 15 player in basketball by the All-NBA voters over LeBron James. Yes, LeBron James. Do you think LeBron James in Game 7 against the Spurs would go out with 2 shot attempts and 0 assists? I was beyond, I mean, I'm not going to say surprised, but beyond the word what disappointed should mean in what Chet Holmgren brought to the floor in Game 7. That was pathetic. I was like, I mean, he wasn't shooting the ball. Luke Cornett was in. He wouldn't even look towards the rim. He wasn't even trying to play within the flow of the offense for OKC. They couldn't take him off the floor because defensively he was the only one that could really match up against her in their zone kind of. I'm not going to call it zone because it is man, but like the way they rotate defensively is so needed for Chet that you couldn't take him out and replace him with an Aaron Wiggins or replace him with I don't know. You had to have the interior presence and length that Chet brings, especially when Ihart was off the floor for the 12 minutes that they split. But because Lou Dort was not hitting his shots, right? Like Lou Dort has the ability to be OG Anunoby. He just doesn't hit his jumpers. So once Lou Dort had to get taken out of the game 4 minutes in for Kenrich Williams because of the fact that he couldn't hit a jumper, and then they need to bring Kenrich Williams in to be that defensive guy. But then they realize, oh, well, if Alex Caruso's going to be missing all these shots, we need offense. So Jared McCain come in. Jalen Williams come in. 11 and 10 for Jalen Williams, who had a great game, by the way. I thought Jalen Williams played fantastic in this one, in his role. I mean, the fact that in 26 minutes he was able to bring 11, 10, and 4 assists with 0 turnovers. And Chet Holmgren, yes, all NBA third team, Chet Holmgren was not even able to give you an assist. Do you know how fast I'd trade him? He'd be a Milwaukee Buck right now. How many firsts would it take for Giannis, man, and Chet? Because if they're able to save 2 or 3 first-round picks by throwing Chet Holmgren in for Giannis, I would do it so fast if I was this OKC Thunder team. I said a year ago, after they won the championship. If you want to guarantee your chances at repeating, go trade for Giannis right now. Because Chet is a shooter, but he's not a shot creator. And I understand that they believed that the perimeter presence of Chet offensively would be better for their offense and the spacing around Shea. But if you're going to have Chet not even being a confident shooter or not being a shot creator at all, just have Giannis out there. So disappointing in the Thunder. They got off to a bad start. And then in that early fourth quarter when the Spurs went on that, I think it was like a big run. This game was just over. They got it within 2 points, and then Isaiah Hartenstein has a 2-on-1 fast break situation. God, if I have to blocked by Cornette, I mean, are you kidding me, Luke Cornette and Isaiah Hartenstein? Really, are you kidding me, Isaiah Hartenstein? Getting blocked by Luke Cornette the way he did. I mean, it was a great game to watch. It was the best two basketball players in the world right now in Wemby and Shea going at it. At least that are still left. I would probably put Jokic above them both still this year. But if we're watching this play, I mean, great steal, right? Finally, someone does something defensively on the Luke Cornette without Wemby on the court. You're telling me this. Look at how much you have. 2-on-1 scenario. Blocked by Cornette. What a block. I mean, I don't want to discredit Luke Cornette. I think the block itself was legendary. I mean, that's a moment that we'll remember forever. You just can't. He lost the ball dribbling. Right here you can see he doesn't have full control. He lost it a little bit going up and boom, blocked. Right off the backboard by Luke Cornette. I mean, just an incredible play. And officially, the San Antonio Spurs did it. In what I thought was going to be the NBA Finals, basically, the Western Conference Finals. Wemby showed all the emotion. Stephon Castle started the day with the assignment on SGA. Then they kind of threw a bunch of heads at him, but SGA, I thought, handled it very well. Devin Vassell didn't have the greatest shooting day, but golly, his impact goes so much more beyond the numbers. It's Andre Iguodala-esque with the Warriors dynasty. Harrison Barnes even got in on his birthday, got a couple reps. But I can't express my disappointment in Chet Holmgren more than I feel like I already have. And the Spurs are really going to the NBA Finals with Victor Wembanyama being 22 years old. So, hey, NBA, let's wake up here. Because if Wemby's doing 22 years old and already hitting the finals, we're talking about that's going to be in the finals when he's 32. And probably when he's 37 as well. So we got 15 years now, guys, to sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the greatness of someone that really the last person we saw have this much of an impact this fast on a team was basically Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, ridiculous stuff we're seeing out of the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. And I don't even think this is their final form in terms of what the Spurs can be. I think their bench could get a little bit better. I think they could develop their guys more. I think that guy like Stephon Castle is just going to get better at shooting the three ball. Devin Vassell is just going to learn how to be a better combo guard. Julian Champagnie is going to keep taking pay cuts to stick here. You know he is. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to be sticking together for a lot longer than I think we originally had planned, and the Spurs are going to be one of them. But after, what? I think it's 9 or 10 days of rest. The official NBA Finals starts tomorrow. The New York Knicks are heading on the road to see the San Antonio Spurs in Game 1. Now, what's my prediction? I think Jalen Brunson's going to have a good series. Now, I think it's going to be very similar to Shea, where he might turn the ball over a lot more because he's going up against bigger defenders, right? De'Aaron Fox is 6'4", 6'3". Stephon Castle is 6'6". Devin Vassell is 6'5". Dylan Harper is 6'4". Julian Champagnie is 6'6". That's a lot bigger of defenders than we were seeing the Cleveland Cavaliers with Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis and James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, right? Much bigger defenders thrown at Jalen Brunson. Now, I expect the Knicks to win a couple games because they're wing players, OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. They've been great this playoff run. And when I say great, Mikal Bridges was very bad in the regular season and very great in the playoffs. I mean, he's done a complete 180. They need to have huge impacts on this series because what the impact that we just saw Devin Vassell have in that Thunder series cannot happen because a guy like Lou Dort is shooting the ball bad, right? OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges need to shoot the ball really well in this series for it to work. I'm going to be looking a lot at the minutes of Josh Hart. When Josh Hart's on the court, if he gets matched up with Wemby in a switching position, or he has to be that rebounding aggressor, how much can he be? Because we saw when Jalen Williams or Ihart came into the game and was aggressive on the glass, it stopped Wemby from being aggressive on the glass and forced him to stay on the perimeter. The Knicks need Wemby on the perimeter. They need him out there with Cat because Cat is not going to guard nobody inside. Now, Cat's been a much better defender this playoff run, but he's still not even a good defender. Wemby needs to dominate the paint in this, and that's going to be very much up to Josh Hart and Mitchell Robinson to stop Wemby from doing what he does best. I think offensively, Brunson's going to be Brunson, but we need OG and Mikal to step up. And I think a name that we're going to be looking a lot at is going to be a Julian Champagnie three-pointers made versus Landry Shamet three-pointers made. Who's got more? Who's going to be the best bench player in this series? Is it going to be Mitchell Robinson / Deuce McBride / Landry Shamet? Or is it going to be Dylan Harper and Harrison Barnes and Keldon Johnson? If we're going off bench, you're definitely taking the Spurs bench. If we're going off starters, just because of Victor Wembanyama, you're probably taking the Spurs, but if we're going around all around, you're probably taking the Knicks. You can see that OG Anunoby is likely going to be getting that Victor Wembanyama matchup. That's what happened in the regular season. That's why the Knicks won games in the regular season, was because they spread the floor. They play great offense. That's why the Knicks have won 11 straight games now in the playoffs. They win on offense. They play great offense early in games, and boom, they get going. I think the Knicks are going to steal Game 1 in San Antonio. That's my early prediction. I don't know what's going to happen after that. I got to see Game 1. But I think the Knicks steal Game 1 in San Antonio because I think their offense is going to be hot. I could see them shooting the ball well, getting off to a quick start, Cat hitting a couple threes. God, I want to say the Knicks in 6, like you did, Shaken. I want nothing more than this series to go 7 games. If I'm being honest, I really want it to go 7. Because of that, I think I'm going to say Spurs in 7 is going to be my official prediction for the NBA Finals. But if Cat cannot get into bad foul trouble and play okay interior defense, and if Josh Hart starts hitting his threes and Mikal Bridges plays the way he was playing in recent NBA Finals with the Suns and with how he played in last series, if you're telling me it's going to go 6, I'm going to take the Knicks. If you're telling me it's going to go 7, I'm taking San Antonio. But this is going to be a great series. It's going to be a great one. 3 players that if you would have told me that they were 1As on championship teams, I would have told you you're crazy. In Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, and even just because he's 22 years old, Victor Wembanyama, I cannot believe he's already a number 1 option on a championship team. But this is going to be awesome. Can't wait to see how they guard Brunson after just coming off guarding Shea. I can't wait to see who steps up for the San Antonio Spurs off the bench. I can't wait to see how Dylan Harper plays against that second unit. Dylan Harper, go make yourself a household name in this. What a series that we get for the NBA Finals. I had my prediction being Celtics, Thunder heading into the postseason. And it ends up being the 2 seed in the West, San Antonio Spurs, against the 3 seed in the East, New York Knicks, for your NBA Finals. Go Knicks, because I'm here in New York. But my official prediction is going to be Spurs in 7. And that's going to do it for my recap of Thunder Spurs 7-game Western Conference Finals and my preview of the NBA Finals Knicks Spurs starting up tomorrow night Happy birthday to me. I got the NBA Finals.